We're looking at Mike Zolkiewicz's 24-foot weight over bar throw with the 42-pound weight at the 2019 Arnold Sports Festival. So this is a throw that I keep constantly dialed up when I'm coaching other athletes or I want to show somebody how the weight over bar is thrown. Mike Zolkiewicz, in my mind, technique-wise, and in almost any other way you can talk about, is the best wob thrower to ever do it. Spencer Tyler is the current world record holder, and he's a special athlete. It's amazing that he's able to eclipse Mike's records. Mike is just, he makes the list for me as the best overall wob thrower just because he was able to do it for so long, so consistently. And now that he's throwing the Masters class, he's throwing the 42 for the weight over bar. And I believe he's going to continue to set records for quite a while to come. Now, I do like to point out, a lot of times when we do these reviews, I like to point out that some athletes have physical gifts. And it's not just that they have physical gifts, it's that they do everything they can to leverage those gifts. Mike has an impressive wingspan. You can see right here, like he's favoring that side a little bit, but look how low his arm hangs. It almost hangs down to his knees. Fingertips are down to his knees. And the weight is down to well below his mid-shin. So that in and of itself, being able to create that longer moment arm, just speaking from a pure physics standpoint, is very important because that means the weight at the end of that moment arm is going to be able to accelerate so much more than it would on a shorter one. So his long reach is an advantage for him. He's a tall thrower. Mike is probably 6'4" minimum, and he's got a great big wingspan, and he comes from a strongman background as well as Highland Games, so he's got next level strength. He's got a lot of things working in his favor, and he's used those to leverage into a style of throwing which really takes advantage of those. But even though he has all those gifts that make him special, his style of weight over bar is replicable, and it's something that every athlete should take something away from. Here, let's start from the very beginning as he gets this weight going. He starts, what I think surprises a lot of people when they watch throwers like Mike and they watch the top throwers is how low the amplitude of these swings are. Like right here. Let's just mark these for example. This is the amplitude of that first swing. He swings out and back in almost to the exact same spot. He does not bring it up here, up to his chin, not even up to his chest. These are low amplitude throws. All he wants is the length out of these. He doesn't care about the speed and the height. He wants to establish length. He's found a great spot there to where he can establish the best moment arm, the length, without sacrificing going further up and having to fight to pull it up or extend himself out of position. So a lot of people are taken aback by that, but you watch the top throwers, very rarely do they have these huge amplitude prep swings. But here's where that length really comes into play. When he goes in between for the final pull, goes in high. I want to mark this. This should be weight over bar 101. There's where it goes in. I'm going to skip ahead, and here's where it comes out. Look at the difference. Look at the difference and how much lower he comes out. In high, out low. Why do we do that? Why is that important? Why did Mike make that such an important part of his throw? Well, look, if you trace the path of this thing, it's going back through here nice and high. Now, in doing that, he's given it room to fall back there. Instead of coming in low and trying to pull it out of the same spot, he's given it room to now fall into place. Watch the gravity take it as it comes down. It falls. Gravity's on his side. He's using gravity to accelerate this throw now. In addition to, now that he lets it fall, he starts his extension and starts his pull right here. But look how much he sits on it and does not get ahead of himself. He stays chest forward. He stays eyes forward. He keeps the hips back, locked and loaded right there. It's really a thing of beauty. He's a little on his toes at this point, but at the point where he really made the biggest effort and pull right here, he was still planted in the ground. And then the extension starts, and he stays nice and long. But look at how much longer of a path that weight got to take because he let it fall into place. It got this nice long path instead of being shortened by him yanking it out too soon. He waited for it to fall, and then he began the extension and that strong jump upwards and that big extension. So almost three distinct areas of the pull. 1, 2 pulling it out, and then 3 pulling it at the finish to get it done right there. And using that big wingspan. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty right there. That length, that wingspan, that extension of his body, his hips, knees. If you look down, you'd even see ankles. Fully extended, laying back. He stayed in a good position until it was time to really make it go on that final pull. And it getting over is just an afterthought at this point. Now, he does one thing that's very special that he pointed out to me when he saw this video, and that I think a lot of throwers need to bear in mind, is the patience that it takes when it gets back here. Now, a lot of people pull from right here. A lot of throwers throw from this position right here when this is sticking out the back. Watch what Mike does. He doesn't push it back, but he allows it to travel, and look how it whips upwards. So he's combined the force of it traveling backwards with the force of it wanting to travel back up because it's attached to his arm. He allows it to rise. It's called it something like a dragon tail whip or something that I'll never forget like that. He used the word dragon, and that's why it always sticks with me. But he allowed it not just to travel backwards, but he allowed it to rise and even get more out of gravity. Because if you pull it from just below that, yeah, you're going to get some gravity, but why not get another 5 or 6 inches like he does here? And he just sticks with it, patient, drops with it, drops with it, drops with it. And now it's already accelerating. That's the key. Most people, when we throw, we accelerate from here to here. We start accelerating. Zolk is accelerating from here on. This is acceleration from this point forward, and he's just putting icing on the cake from this point forward. Just an absolute thing of beauty watching him throw the weight over bar. And I think it's going to be really fun to watch him in the Masters class to see if he can continue to break his own records with the 42 weight over bar, because it really plays into, obviously, it's a lighter weight, but the fact that Mike approaches this so much like a throw instead of just a strength event, I think it really plays into his strength that he's going to be able to manipulate this weight even more and get even more out of it. Pretty excited to see.